From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big early morning of early mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. A $3.5 trillion recon has passed that'll pay viewers of the channel about $15,000. Cluster number 1 has hazard pay in there, and elder care. Cluster number 2 has home repairs totally free, and cluster number 3 has money for seniors with a big world exclusive coming up later in this video. But now there's a push underway to add an additional $25,000 of checks in there for you, plus a push underway by Chuck Schumer to add monthly stimulus checks in there as well. Boy, we got a big broadcast in this recording. Then we turn to the incredible great news about student loan debt forgiveness, as more debt is now being forgiven by the president. Wow, where did that one come from? Then new poll ratings show the president's polls dropping dramatically. Why, they say? Because no one knows what's in the recon. Well, they're not watching this channel. Then we turn to the incredible details about what is happening next with the vote. We have a date for the vote. We also have a new amount for your COLA. Because guess what? Your benefits are going up later this year, and we have a new number for your COLA. We got this stimulus, and we got third stimulus, which is paying viewers big sums of money. And I'll show you how you get this big sums of money as well. Because the toast is toast, and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here, and it's a beautiful early morning starting right now. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day across the globe. I hope your day is going great and also beautiful. It's a great day with so much happening across the board, and what's at issue is the big money in this $3.5 trillion recon. This $3.5 trillion recon passed in a subcommittee, and in this recording, we're going to go over all the incredible money, no less than $25,000 in this first, second, and third cluster. We go over all the sums of money starting right now, and boy, it is deliciousness. Ooh, we got some interesting graphics there. There we go. Cluster number 1, pass, hazard pay, and elder care. Cluster number 2, checks, passed, home repairs. Cluster number 3, seniors checks. And then, can we dare touch the graphic? Let's try it right there. Oh, and we're at $25,000. The graphic's not $25,000, just you're getting $25,000. Then we turn to the big surprises as more money is coming out. Not for bacon, but for student loan debt forgiveness. Wow, this is wonderful news. And then the big surprise is they're making changes to the recon. We'll go over what those changes are. We got a big week and we got a big day of news. It starts right now. And this is LALATE. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. We got a lot of shows today and a lot of breaking news. Hit that like button and consider becoming a member. Let's cut right to that recon. A $3.5 trillion recon passed a subcommittee in the House 2 weeks ago. And this recon will pay most viewers of this channel upwards of about $15,000. Yes, you. If you're on SSI, SSDI, if you're single, if you're married, yes, about $15,000. Most of the items are application-based. Not all of them, but a lot are. So let's go over these 3 clusters of checks before we get to those $25,000 check and also those IRS stimulus checks. So here we go. Cluster number 1, hazard pay. $4,000 for elder care. Wow. So they got hazard pay pass in cluster number 1. This is huge. The earned income tax credit broadened the eligibility and increased the amount of money. So for every year that you work as an essential worker, more money across the board. $4,000 of elder care got in there, $4,000 to care for a young child. Then they got home repairs in there, totally free. If you live in a low-income community, totally free. Then grants to the college student, directly to them, to the university, and also the Pell Grant, made tax-free. Guess what? They got money in there for the CTC, the child tax credit. Broaden the eligibility up to $51,000 a child. Wow. $300 a month, approximately every month, every year to up to 18 years. That's $51,000 a child. And finally, they got money in there for a bike, a car, and a truck, all electric and all U.S. auto manufactured. How does this work? 15% for the purchase of a new electric bike, $7,500 for a new electric truck or car, personal use, and a little bit more for business use. There you go. Very, very exciting. But can we top that? We can. As now, Sherrod Brown, Maxine Waters, and Raphael Warnock introduced legislation to add a provision to the recon that would pay you $25,000. What is this $25,000? It is whole, hard cash that would go in your hands to go buy a house. Yeah, you're hearing me right. This is huge. And that $25,000 would be paid to you upfront to go buy a house. What's the eligibility? At the moment, it only looks that you have to be a first-time home buyer to get this $25,000 upfront. On the backside, Ron Wyden also proposed another provision that pays you on the backside, but obviously you would prefer the one on the front side, as I would as well. Let's cut to the second cluster checks, and boy, here come the second cluster, and they are delicious. That are passed in that subcommittee of the House. They are checks for home repairs, more home repairs, and also paid leave. Now remember, the recon is for everyone. It's for you if you're on SSI, SSDI. It's for single individuals. It's for married couple. It's for everyone, red states, blue states, and it pays about $15,000 to viewers of this channel. As soon as it becomes law, I'm going to show you how to get all the money. In this second cluster, paid family leave, paid medical leave. How much does it pay? $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. Split in half, $35,000 a year, $800 a week. Split in half, for $15,000 annual salary, that would be $400 a week. What is paid family leave? You have to stay home because your wife is pregnant. Medical leave, you have to stay home because your son has broke his leg. Then we got checks in there for household, also checks for the child care program. Then weatherizing your home checks. Free money to weatherize your home. Definitely needed if the moderate Democrats are on the roof. As I always said, keep the moderate Democrats out of the House. So weatherize it. And wherever possible, keep the moderate Democrats out of the Senate. There we go. Then they got free community college classes and pre-kindergarten in there as well, passed. That's a second cluster. So where's Congress? What's Congress doing? Well, we got a date. Nancy Pelosi and the President of the United States say the vote on your recon would be by Halloween. Let's say that again. By Halloween. And needless to say, every single day someone says to me, how can they vote on Halloween? I didn't say on Halloween. I said by Halloween. But how do they vote on Halloween? They're in costume. My response is, well, how do you know they're not always in costume? How do you know that's really their own hairs, that own hair? How do you know that actually is their own lobster sauce? There you go. Yeah, you think he's dressing up as a lobster for Halloween? I don't know. I don't think I want to know. There we go. Let's get to the third cluster of checks. The third cluster of checks, I got another exclusive about this one, and it's a big one, and it's for my seniors. Here we go. Cluster number 3's checks pass. Seniors are free internet. Well, the third cluster checks are big, and there are some automatic ones in here as well. Free school meals for all checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for farmers, checks for clean energy, checks for internet, checks for workers like independent contractors, checks for seniors like dental, vision, and hearing care, and checks to lower the eligibility age for Medicare. Well, here comes that exclusive. This channel can exclusively report that Bob Casey's office is now reporting to viewers of this channel that the eligibility age for Medicare will be dropped from 65 to 60. World exclusive. All right, now let's go to the checks in this third cluster, which are nearly automatic and deliciousness. Cheaper prescription medication. First, they're going to slash the prices of prescription medication in half so you instantly have a savings in your wallet overnight. Then they're also going to give you free internet. Federal government's getting fortunes to seize counties and states so that all you have to do is say, hi, I want the internet connection. Okay, what's the username and password? The username is McConnell Lobster Sauce. And the password is Pelosi Pumpkin Latte. Don't start the pumpkin latte jokes. I just don't want to eat pumpkin. Do you see any pumpkins? Yes, I'm out of pumpkin, and it's already October. I'm done with pumpkin by February every year. And there you go. That's the third cluster of checks. But guess what? We ain't done there, because then there's a push underway as well to put that monthly IRS stimulus check in there as well. Here is what Debbie Applegate, who was in the live chats all yesterday, reported a week ago, last Friday. She writes that I called Bernie Sanders, Chuck Schumer, and Liz Warren's office, and all of them said that the IRS stimulus check is going in there after she advocated. This is not unusual. But this is also very big. This is the second viewer in less than 7 days who has been told by Chuck Schumer's office that he's inserting an IRS stimulus check provision in there. Where are we in the equation? Let me explain where we are. We have a $3.5 trillion recon that passed the House subcommittee. Not a bill. It's a package. They can add stuff in there. They say they will add stuff in there. Not a bill yet. So where would they add things in for us? Several opportunities. Before it becomes a House bill, so in the subcommittee, they can add it now. When it gets to the House floor, after it's a bill, they can also add it after it's a House bill, before it's a House vote. Then the biggie, the Senate. Yes. If the House members don't take care of the situation, then when it goes to the Senate, the last and biggest opportunity to put it in there is a 2-day vote-a-rama. Who governs the vote-a-rama? Chuck Schumer. Who determines when things are called for a vote in the vote-a-rama? Chuck Schumer. Who determines what's called to change what came from the House? Chuck Schumer. And who said he's going to put an IRS stimulus check provision in there? Not once, but twice after viewers advocated in the last 7 days? Chuck Schumer. This is a biggie. This is a very big part of the equation because he is key across the board. And this is why Sanders and Schumer, who are very, very, very close, have heard your messages. You need to advocate with Chuck Schumer as often as you can. Here is what a top aide to Bernie Sanders' office told a viewer of this channel last Friday. The top aide and the viewer have been talking repeatedly over the last few weeks, and this is the latest update written by the viewer after the conversation with the aide. The aide said that through yesterday, Schumer had received 1 million phone calls from the viewers of LALATE. The advocacy is making waves through the Senate, like Chuck Schumer and Liz Warren, who get the same phone calls from you as well. I hope you've called them as well. This is the first time that many of these elected officials and their staff have truly heard from the people, and now they not only have a heavy hearts, but a renewed sense of urgency to help people to get help for good work. The advocacy of LA has been so strong and so heartfelt and so polite that it's not just for ourselves, but also the communities. There you go. What's going on is that there is a big battle over this recon. Several battles at issue. First, people battling to put stuff in the recon. You've already seen the monthly stimulus check, battle to put it in there. The $25,000 to buy a house, battle to put it in there. Well, here is Susan Rice, here is Lisa Rice, who had a very new, interesting article out. She's the president and CEO of the National Fair Housing Alliance. She says all these coalitions of industry groups are beating down on the door to the White House to make sure their provision is in the recon. Everyone's pushing to get stuff in the recon. Meantime, stuff that is in the recon, people are pushing to keep it in there. I'll go over Maxine Waters' comments in a second. She has something in there. She thinks it's going to get removed, and she's a progressive. And progressives say nothing's getting removed. Wow. Advocacy starts here, and we're far from over from advocacy. We'll go over more about this incredible details. We'll be turning to the modification of the recon. We'll be going over the advocacy to include a stimulus check. We'll be going over student loan debt forgiveness, breaking news. Also, more about that $25,000. The big surprise, as COLA is going really high instantly. This is big for your benefit checks now, not waiting for law. This is actually happening. Then we'll be getting more to fifth stimulus and third stimulus. We got a lot coming up as more early mornings LA heats up. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now in early mornings LA as it's a beautiful day across the coast. Hope the weather is good where you are. In the second half of this recording, so much coming up. We'll go over what the president is doing now that his poll ratings are dropping because no one knows what's in the recon. Yes, that's really what's going on. We go more over the exciting great details about third stimulus, which you can get right now and pay you a lot of money. We'll be cutting back over to fourth stimulus with more about those IRS stimulus checks, fifth stimulus, and now the big COLA raise that everyone did not see coming. Oh boy, it's a good morning and we're just getting started. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video and consider becoming a member. The link is under the video. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto, currently playing on this channel. And then we got Morning's Countdown at 7 a.m. Then Morning's LA live on air at 9. Let's turn to all the big surprise that no one saw coming, and that is your advocacy and how it's making big news. And we look back at that message from the top aide. This is not a staffer, this is not a secretary, but top aide in Sanders' office. They said they'd never seen anything like this. This is big because guess what? You're competing against lobbyists. You're competing against lobbyists who are trying to get things into the recon and lobbyists who are trying to protect whatever they already got in the recon to stay in there. And Sanders' office is overwhelmed. Sanders and Schumer are one in the same because they are guiding the legislation. That is why Debbie's message was so important. She had the number 3 most important people all saying after her advocacy that it's going in there. Let's go over what that advocacy looks like and what that advocacy needs to be as we go over these final last days before the potential vote. Advocacy starts with this channel. It was 8 weeks ago I said pick up the phone and advocate, and WR did. He picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's oldest confidant, advocating for a stimulus check provision included, and they said yes. Chris Coons' office said yes. Then 3 weeks ago, you saw a series of exclusives delivered on this channel. It's important to understand these exclusives. Why? Because it's what gets you money. When third stimulus became law, some people said $1,400 stimulus check, $1,400 stimulus check. I said, wait a second. I can get you $15,000 from this third stimulus. What? Yeah, I can get you at least $13,000 from this third stimulus recon. I was wrong. I got viewers an average of $40,000 from the third stimulus recon. The problem is people don't know what's in these packages. And even yesterday, I had viewers in the live chat, very nice viewers, not being trying to be mean, they're just nice, saying, I heard the fourth stimulus recon was only checks for children. Whose fault is it? Not yours, not mine. The president. A new series of polls say the president's ratings are falling. His popularity numbers are dropping like flies because no one knows what's in these packages. Simon Rosenberg, Democratic strategist, says the president's decline is alarming. It's serious. No one knows what's in there. When I look at this fourth stimulus recon, I can get you at least $15,000 just to start, but it may be a lot more. And first, the problem is telling people, hey, there's a recon out there. There is? Yeah. So we got that situation solved. Now we're going over the big sums of money. And 3 weeks ago, I said, let's go over what's going on. I had a series of exclusives. First, I said that the House subcommittee would be writing the legislation. They did. Sheila Jackson, the number 2 in the Progressive Caucus, writing the legislation. Then I said the House would vote on the side first in the subcommittee. They did. Then I said the Senate would vote last. They will be. Bernie Sanders is important to the equation because 3 weeks ago he said, unlike prior budget chairmen of the Senate, I like to get out amongst the people when I'm doing a recon. I said, if you listen to those words, he wants you to advocate to him. He wants you to tell him what you want in there. I said, pick up the phone and call. And Lynn Glenn did, and Brother Joshua did, and Margaret did, and advocated. And Sanders' office said yes 3 weeks ago. Now let's go over what's advocacy and what's not advocacy. Advocacy involves telling your particular story of why you need something and why that thing is important and should be paid for. It's much like what a lobbyist does. A lobbyist for the restaurant union, a lobbyist for the hotel union. You're here telling your story. I need the money because it may be something about your Family, something about your medicine, your finances, your business. I need it because I got a divorce. I need it because I broke my legs. I need it because I lost my business, lost my home. I need it because my town, my community, my church, my family. I got to tell you why I need it. It involves a series of sentences that all have periods in there. Santa's office told, in Santa's top 8 told the viewer, they had never seen anything like the advocacy that came from LALATE. Why? Because I trained you what to say. I said, talk about you. Because a staffer will not know your town. They won't know your community. Won't know even existed. But they can understand a story and tell the story as clear and as personal about you so that it resonates through the phone. And boy, has that worked. They have heard your messages and have been absolutely overwhelmed and impressed. Let's go over what's not advocacy. Non-advocacy is asking only questions. Am I getting a check? When am I getting a check? Is it in the bill? Is it not in the bill? Who's going to add it? When is the vote? When is the date? Who's sending it out? Will it go out? Can I change my direct deposit account? When can I get it? When will it go? Will it go for 2 days, for 3 days? That gets no one anywhere. That's just asking questions. The answer to all that is a big flat no. Is a big flat no. Because that's not advocacy. Do you think a lobbyist is picking up the phone saying, is my restaurant union going to get this? No. He says, I got to tell you what you need to do for my restaurant union. And you need to do this right now. And that's how they get the stuff in there. And that's what Brother Joshua did 3 weeks ago. He picked up the phone and advocated for you and his family and his church. He's a 2020 volunteer to the community page, has gotten viewers big fortunes for this channel, and he advocated for that inclusion. And Santa's office said, yes, $1,000 or $1,300 for 3 to 6 months. But Santa's office needs to hear from you. Do you notice the but in that sentence? A lot of people don't hear the second part of the sentence. There's a but in there. But he needs to hear from you about why you need it. And I said, pick up the phone and advocate. And boy, that's when you did. You did a great job. Donnie picked up the phone. You just met Donnie's wife. Well, here comes Donnie. And Donnie picked up the phone, and Donnie called Santa's office and advocated. And let's see some of the screen grabs from either the live chat or the posting to the channel. Here's Donnie. He says, I called Bernie. I said what I need. I called Bernie Santa's office. I said what I need. My city needs and my family needs a need for everything for the water bill. And they said, yes, it's going in there. Monthly stimulus check. Then we had Hurricane Tina pick up the phone and advocate as well and got the confirmations going in there. The conversations and the advocacies continued one after another, like Yaya going over to Ron Wyden's office and advocating. And here's Carolyn calling Santa's office saying people losing their home and everything they got. We need this. And Santa's office saying, yes, it's going in there. At that point, I told you the importance of telling your story to as many people as possible because it's a story. You need to tell it to Chuck. You need to tell it to Liz. You need to tell it to Bernie. Tell as many people that story. That's what Will did. He called those 3. He writes, I told them my situation and how this would make a big impact on me. And I was told it's happening. I called Bernie. I called Chuck. I called 3, and all 3 of the offices said and confirmed they're doing it. And then came Lorica, who called over to Bob Casey's office, and they confirmed it's going in there as well. 1 million views to Santa's office, advocating for that inclusion, and thousands of viewers calling and getting confirmation from Coons, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, and Wyden that a monthly stimulus check provision is going in there, and getting the same confirmation from AOC Omar, Jalapal, and yes, even Pelosi, to Mark. Mark calling Pelosi's office, advocating, being told $1,000 after the first month, the $2,000 is going in there, and that they're near complete on those provisions. But the biggest one is, of course, Chuck Schumer, because you want him on the backside, because that is where they modify it. And with that, let's explain how things are getting modified in the recon, because this is getting very fascinating. It was a week ago where the progressives said everything that's in the recon is staying in the recon. Everything that's in the recon is not getting watered down. Same message today. Well, let's take a look. And then let's take a look at the items that are getting modified, and it's potentially not your money. The Democrat progressives represent all items are staying in there, nothing is getting reduced, and that the only thing being changed is tax duration. So let's explain how that works starting right now. The first one is the progressives. The progressives represented all last week that if there's a provision in there like $4,000 of elder care, staying in there, not getting reduced, like down to $200. But Maxine Waters definitely concerned. Why? She has a $300 billion provision in there for rent. That's a lot, isn't it? Yeah, because third stimulus only had 47 billion. She has 300 billion. She's worried, one, that's going to get reduced, or two, that's going to get removed. And so she issued a stern statement as a progressive last Friday saying keep it in there. So not every progressive feels so comfortable that all their money is staying in there. Well, how can they make changes but still keep something in there? Duration and taxes. First, duration. Ironic, because it was a week ago when I said they can do this with duration. And then 2 days later, Jalapal said, yeah, we can do this with duration. Thank you, Jalapal, for watching. No, how did I know she was going to say this? Because Bernie had said this in July. Let me explain to you why and how this works. Bernie Sanders went into the negotiations for a recon before there was a recon, saying, I want to do one. You want to do a recon, Bernie? How much? $7 billion. No way, Bernie. That's crazy. How much? Well, okay, I'll cut the duration. We'll do 3.5 trillion. Deal, done. Called for a vote in the House, the Senate, became law, done. So what did Sanders do then, and what can be done going forward? He cut the duration. Let me give you an example with numbers. This is not exactly how it happened. Let me just give you an example with numbers so you get a nice sense of how this would functionally work. Let's say Sanders went into the negotiations asking for only 20-year programs and $7 trillion. They said no to $7 trillion. So then suddenly he said, instead of 20 years, let's just do 10 years. Bam. Suddenly it's 3.5 trillion. He still has $4,000 a year for elder care. It's just a 10-year program, not a 20-year program, bringing us from 7 trillion to 3.5 trillion. Easy. So how do they do it going forward? You know exactly what I'm about to say. Let's say it's a 10-year program for all the programs right now. Make them all 5-year programs. And suddenly you go from 3.5 trillion recon to $1.75 trillion recon. Whammo! That's exactly the price tag that the moderate Democrats would agree to. Done. Very, very simple. And the $4,000 elder care stays in there, pays annually up to 5 years instead of up to 10 years. There you go. Now, they can also modify the taxes. This is a little bit strange, a little bit bizarre also. Why? Because they can reduce how much in corporate taxes they're doing and also the wealth tax, but they're not inclined to do that because they would leave tax loopholes still open that they're hoping to close. Well, there you go. Meantime, the surprise that no one saw coming is that student loan debt forgiveness. Wow. The president forgave some more student loan debt in the last few days. First, the president initially forgave student loan debt for individuals who became disabled after college. Now, the president's forgiving student loan debt if, for 10 years after you graduate, you worked in the nonprofit sector or you worked for a government agency like city, county, state, or the federal government. Wow, incredible, great news. The president says he's still considering forgiving at least $10,000. He will do that. Push is underway for him to forgive more, up to $50,000. And then comes the COLA surprise. Wow. You remember throughout the summer where I said inflation is going to go up, transitory to about 5% in December? Well, I was right, but in fact, it's going higher than I predicted. And that's why COLA announced, Social Security Administration announced, your new COLA number for next year will be about 5%. Wow. Now, this is a big surprise. Let's talk about this in the context of fifth stimulus. We can go back to fifth stimulus. COLA is the current benchmark for your benefits, and COLA generally doesn't move. It's rare that it's moving this year because inflation's going up. And I said inflation was going up to about 5% during the summer. Now, and at the time, Walsh is saying you're too high, LA, it's probably like 2%. Now, most people think I may be too low, then it may be going up to about 9 or 10%. So COLA may look great now, but it actually should have been a little bit more. Let's compare this versus fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus heats up in a few weeks and goes for a potential vote by September. First, they raise your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. Then they apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation, replacing COLA. Yeah, inflation goes higher faster than COLA does. And once inflation goes up, once they apply your benchmark, your benefits never go down. So let's say inflation is 10% later this year, and they apply the benchmark, then your benefits will go up an additional 10%, not just next year, but lifetime. Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. They're going to move the asset cap dating back to 1980s law, so you'll be able to have some stimulus checks in your hand and some KC Royals Blue, Canute. No, this is just blue. They're going to remove some asset cap dating back to an income cap dating back to 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. Finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away, and love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest. And you'll be able to do a pair dance at your wedding. Rob and Sandy will be able to get married and no longer fear loss of benefits. And there you go. This stimulus are hoping to get this done by December, but at the moment, your COLA benefits are kicking in. And so when they apply that COLA benchmark, yeah, you're looking at a 5% increase when they next apply it. This is great. Now, let's turn over to third stimulus and fourth stimulus comparison. When I look at the fourth stimulus and I look at these three clusters, I think I can get you about $15,000 from these three clusters of checks. That's before I get to the $25,000 for purchasing a new house and before we get to those monthly stimulus checks. Am I undervaluing it? Maybe I am. When third stimulus became law, I immediately turned to you and I said, don't focus on a $1,400 stimulus check. It'll just land. There's a lot of moolah in this third stimulus for you to get. And I'm going to show you how to get it. And I said $15,000. I was wrong. Viewers got $40,000. We'll be reassessing the numbers as we get closer to the finish line. As Maxine Waters shows us, she has $300 billion in there for rent. So that's a lot of money. If viewers are getting $20,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 for rent with a very moderate size Recon third, imagine with a massive Recon 4 how much more money for rent you'll get. Yeah, you can get these monies across the board. And with that, perfect segue right into third stimulus. Get a pen, paper ready. We can go over some rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage assistance, clothing, appliances, and home repairs. It starts right now. First, I'm going to go with 6 places. Reach out to all 6. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. Next, listen to the keywords I say in this video. It helps get people approved. And number 3, get ready for the nonprofits. First, we're going to get some rent. Reach out to the following 6 places: City Hall, City House Authority; County Hall, County House Authority; State Hall, and State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. And how much money can you get for rent? Look at this. Yeah, it's going anywhere from $20,000 to $27,000 a month ago, but now it's going to $40,000, and that is incredible. Jen getting $40,000 for this channel. What I've been telling viewers this channel is to read the LA member newsletter, because in there I now include the Treasury statement. Read it before you make the call so that you can call them up and say, I know about this additional $13 billion being sent out from Treasury. Have you got to the money? I want to get the money for rent. And that's what Brina did. Brina went into last week with $0, end of the week with $6,000 because she watched my videos. She said, I want to thank you, LALATE, so much. You told me about that additional $13 billion. I reached out to the city of Austin. I applied. Days later, I got approved for 8 months of rent, $6,000, bringing her into 2022. So make sure you do that before you make the phone call for the rent. Next, utilities. Reach out to all your different utility companies. So if you have 5, reach out to 5. They have different pots of money. They have different eligibility. And guess what? Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000. Look how it's grown, this money. Next, SNAP. SNAP is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. And look at this. Mark's brother-in-law got $21,000. It's going to $26,000. Why? Because everyone's SNAP benefits are going up an average of 25% lifetime automatically starting in October. You get it from Department of Agriculture. Next, get multiple sums of money. Here are the people who got combo items: $32,000, $51,000 for Mark. Get as many items as you can, apply in as many places as you can, and don't worry if something is something you got money for before. I've had a lot of people get rent last year, then get rent earlier this year, and now getting rent for next year. Then brings us to the nonprofits. You ready for that pen and paper again? Here we go. The 5 nonprofits are great. Why? If you've had a problem with eligibility for third stimulus, they will help you get that money because they have a different total eligibility. Their eligibility is totally different than the federal government's third stimulus. And they pay for the same items generally in third stimulus. And what are those 5 nonprofits? United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Next, the nonprofits pay for items that the federal government doesn't pay for, like homeless people into shelter, like clothing, like small appliances. They paid for viewers' channels to buy them a small refrigerator, a furnace, even a portable electric heater, and a window broken, fixed. All things across the board. Finally, Salvation Army is doing holiday gifts now, so do them in October. Don't wait till December. They do it far in advance. All right, here are the 5 places to reach out to again. United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Next, unemployment benefits. Yes, the refund check coming back for your state due to overpayment of computer error. It's landing. Average payment is $2,000 to $5,000. Reach out to your state to track it. And then the refund check from the federal government to you for the taxes you paid on the 2020 unemployment benefits. Average payment is $1,200 to $2,000. Monica got it, Con got it, Michael got it. If you got in any of the sums of money from this channel, post it in the live chat right now, because when you do, you inspire other people to get that money. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? The link is in the video. Become a Purple Hawk today and become a member and get delivered to you that newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, approximately, from the LALATE alert system and the YouTube alert system for members. The LALATE alert system is totally free, by the way. It's also in the description. In that newsletter, I detail all the big money available for you on the first, second, third stimulus so you can get this big sums of money. And that's what I want you to do. As soon as third stimulus passed, I said I can get you that money. Now the fourth stimulus is looming. As soon as that becomes law, I'm going to show you how to get these big sums of money. I want you to end this week with money you didn't start this week with because of this channel. I had 3 viewers several weeks ago. The start of the week was 0. By the middle of the week, they're at 40,000. By the weekend, one of them was at 80,000. His name was Johnny. Got 7 items from this channel in 5 days. That's where you do it. Johnny got 80,000. His 2 family members got 100,000. Mark, 51,000. His 2 friends and neighbors, the same 100,000. And Lorraine, 110 to 120,000. This is money you owe yourself. Make 3 promises to yourself. First, get money for rent and utilities as far into 2022 as possible. Apply everywhere. Get this money as far as you can, all these items as far into 2022 as possible. Number 2, lean on the nonprofits. It's mid-early October. It's not yet that cold outside. As soon as the weather drops, then the nonprofits start getting swarmed with phone calls. They're not overwhelmed at the moment, so reach out to them now. Fast turnaround times are being reported excellently at United Way and Salvation Army for United Way and St. Vincent de Paul for rent. And finally, advocate. And with that, we go into the final minutes of this video with what's going on with this recon, fourth stimulus recon. Well, we got a $3.5 trillion package. Of that, I think the viewers of this channel can get about $15,000 over 3 clusters. There may be more items in there that are still unknown to me, like the $300 billion of rent. I didn't even know that was in there, which may bring the $15,000 up higher. There are items they're pushing to get added in there, like those monthly stimulus checks, like the $25,000 to purchase a new house. A lot of things at flux. Advocacy starts right here. Tow truck, tow hitch, finish line. Tow truck, passes over the finish line. That's the recon procedural. The tow truck, the recon procedural, has already become law. House, Senate vote, done. Then they came back and put the tow hitch on the back of the tow truck. That's the recon substantive. In the subcommittee of the House, not on the House floor, not even a bill, not even a vote. So not yet over the finish line, the tow hitch. People are trying to take things out of the tow hitch. People are trying to add things into the tow hitch. You can add whatever you want to add in the tow hitch. But more importantly, get behind the driver's seat of that tow truck and drive it over the finish line by advocating. It's important to know that there are other trucks on that road that are trying to come in front of you. They're lobbyists for every different type of industry that is trying to get their money in that recon and not have the money go to you. So advocate and also stay informed. Across the board, we got a lot of videos coming up and a lot of shows coming up today. We got Overnight's Crypto currently playing on this channel as Bitcoin going sideways, and then the altcoins really struggling. Last night's Overnight's Crypto had nearly 1,000 viewers at one time in the watching the show. So thank you for tuning in. What a night that was. Then comes up Morning's Countdown, which yesterday was one of the most watched shows of the day. It's really been a big hit show. And then we go into Morning's LA live on air at 9 a.m. Morning's Crypto at 10 a.m. and noontime at 11 a.m. And with that, I want you part of this incredible family. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube record. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes. Every like helps in the algorithm. And consider becoming a member to get that newsletter, to get that Purple Heart behind your name, and learn all about all this big money is available under first, second, and third stomas for you. It's a big day. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the cough is brewing, and I look forward to seeing you across all of today's videos. Keep it informed, keep it smiling, keep it advocating, keep it positive, and keep it here, as always, with Ally Support.